Welcome everyone. Day 17. So almost halfway through our third week. Just gonna get nice and grounded down onto our mats, rolling the flesh from under our seat bones, rolling the shoulders up, back and down, taking a deep breath in just to get grounded. Doing some last final fidgets, playing with your clothes, playing with your hair, getting nice and comfortable so you can just sit still and just be. Allowing yourself to come fully into the practice, leaving everything else aside and off the mat. Bring our hands to heart center and we'll open the practice by chanting Om. Taking a deep inhale. Om. Bow our heads and pay our respects to Indigenous leaders, past, emerging, and present. Give thanks to the sages, the rishis, and the yogis who came before us to share this knowledge of yoga. And give thanks to our divine power, divinity, God, Mother Earth, nature, whatever you want to call it, for bringing you safely to your mat. Rub the hands together now, feeling the energy between the palms. Then gently placing it over the eyes, blinking the eyes awake, massaging down the face, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, and all the way down the legs. So we're just going to get warmed up here. At first, these are called Doit taps. So basically we're just going to tap all the way up the legs, into the thighs, up the back, maybe even using little fists, banging up the side, up the back, of the hips, waking everything up and down the sides of the spine, but never on the spine, down the legs, kind of like a little massage to wake up the entire system. Up the arms, little gentle finger taps, maybe with your fist as well. Other side. So this is a bit more of an ancient Chinese medicine practice, but I love combining all different aspects of different parts of humanity into a yoga practice. So we don't just focus on the Indian Ayurvedic aspect. We don't just focus on a Western medicine point of view. We incorporate as much as we can into our practice. We're all students of the universe. And so many people are filled with so much knowledge about different things and in different ways. Exhaling to stop. Noticing how your body feels. Maybe there's a few tingles. You're going to roll the shoulders all the way up the ears and back down. Nice big shoulder rolls. Getting really exaggerated, up, back, and down. And inhaling through. Maybe moving the spine with it. Getting into all the nitty gritty of the shoulder blades, the neck. Pausing and doing the other way. Inhaling up and back and exhaling forward. And come into a pause. Now just going to shrug the shoulders all the way up to the ears. Holding it there nice and tight, bringing it all the way up. Inhaling here. As you exhale, drop it all out. Inhaling, shrugging it up. Exhaling, drop it all out. One more time. Contracting those muscles, pulling the shoulders all the way up, holding it here nice and tight. Exhale to shrug it out. Finding our side balances, inhaling that left arm all the way up and over. Exhaling to really open up that side body. Looking up under your armpit. Inhaling here. And exhale, floating it down. Inhaling to the other side. Really opening up those ribs, those hips. Trying to ground down through that right hip into the mat. You open up the ribs. Inhaling back up. Inhaling the hands all the way up to the sky this time. And exhale, folding over those front legs. Releasing the neck, the shoulders. If you're anything like me, maybe you can even feel that stretch in your hips, your back, your base of your spine. And it's good to notice whenever we have headaches or anything like that. Is it because we haven't drunk enough water? Is it stress? Or maybe is it not to do with our head at all, but actually coming from the muscles in our back or our calves or our thighs? The amazing thing about the body being so connected. Inhale, walking those hands over to the left. Halfway lifting as you inhale over that knee. And exhale, folding over. Deep breaths into the back of that right hip. Trying to keep that right hip planted on the ground. Then inhale, walking back through the center. And exhaling to the other side. Inhaling, halfway lift. And exhale, folding over that right leg. Breathing into the left hip. Planting the left seat bones onto the mat. Gently inhale to walk it back through. One last fold here. And inhale, pushing into those hands and bringing yourself up to a seated position. So we're just going to find our breath, connecting our body to our mind and our breath movements. So inhale, scooping up the energy all the way up, finding our hands in prayer at the top. And exhale, gently dropping it down. Inhale, circle, sweep those arms up. And exhale down. Keep going at your own pace. Really visualizing as you inhale, that breath is sending those arms all the way up. As you exhale, gently bringing that energy down through the center. One more time. And bring it back down. So we're just going to do some wrist warm-ups. Taking that right hand out in front of you, holding the forearm, and big circles of the wrist, all in one direction. And exhale the other way. Other side, holding that left wrist. And circling. Big circles in this wrist. And exhaling the other way. Taking him out. Just allowing that energy to travel through your hands, up your arms. And coming to stillness. Gently finding your tabletop position, rolling over onto your hands and knees. We're going to warm up those wrists still. So just flipping the back of the left hand onto the mat, just gently rocking back and forth. Remembering to be gentle with the wrist here. Flipping it the other way, toes pointing to the knees and rocking it back and forth. Setting the left hand up normally again, then flipping the top of the right hand onto the mat. Just applying some gentle pressure. Maybe just staying in stillness is enough for this wrist, or maybe rocking back and forth. Flipping the hand over, palm down, but fingers facing the knee, and rocking it out. Then setting up as normal. Maybe even coming onto your knees, rolling them out one more time, just to make sure that all the kinks are out of it. There's no pain. Rolling one way, then the other. This time you're going to interlace your fingers in front of your chest and push the palms out in front of you. Breathing here. We're going to inhale those hands up and over. Shoulders pulling down away from the ears. Trying to get the hands above the neck, above the head, and slightly pulled back. Exhaling, floating those hands down. We're going to interlace behind us, pushing the hands together. You can keep the knuckles pointing backwards, or you can flip the hands so that pushing the palms out as well. Opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders. And exhaling back to your hero's position. Inhaling to your tabletop, tucking the toes, and then exhaling the hips up and back for our first downward facing dog. Walking the feet here, pedaling out the backs of the legs, and then finding stillness. Maybe spreading the feet a little bit wider, setting yourself up so you're nice and comfortable. Feeling the core turn on, really pressing those hands into the mat, grounding down. we're going to move into our twisted down dog. So planting the energy into the left hand, you're going to lift that right hand, reach it back to grab the outside of the left leg. We're still staying in this down dog position, feeling a bit more of a stretch in that left leg as we twist to look under the left arm. One more breath here. Inhaling back to your downward facing dog. And then setting up to the other side. All that weight comes into the right hand. Your left hand grabs the outside of your right leg, twisting a little bit more in the middle of the body. If at any stage this gets too much, just bend those knees, or maybe come back into your regular down dog. Deep breath in here, and then exhale back to down dog. Tippy toe those feet to the top of the mat. And finding your forward fold, exhaling here, bending the knees, belly into the tips of the thighs. Maybe clasping opposite elbows, nodding the head yes, shaking it no. Then gently inhaling, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way up. Shoulders up, back and down. And finding our Tadasana. So standing nice and tall, feet at hip width, tailbone tucked slightly. Very gentle micro bend to the knees. Arms opening forward. Deep breath here. And exhale. From here, we're going to inhale into our chair. So legs come together, bending the knees. We sit down into our hips like we're sitting into our favorite chair. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Still slight tuck of that tailbone under. And just building the strength here. You should be able to pull your shins back so you can see your toes. Building the strength in the glutes, in the thighs. Inhaling here. Then exhale, whoosh it out for half chair. Inhaling up. Exhale. One more time. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhaling up for the chair. Then gently exhaling hands down to the mat, sending the hips up and back. You're going to step your right foot back for our runner's lunge. Then inhale the hands all the way up for our crescent. Dropping to your knee if you need, or keeping it floated. Nice and tall here. I'm going to exhale the hands into the palms. Deep breath here. Then exhale, turn to twist. Sending that right elbow, the left knee. Really pressing the palms into each other to open up that chest a little bit more. Finding that twist. Breathing here, wringing out that tea towel. That's your mid body. Then exhaling, framing that front foot. Stepping the left foot back to meet the right. We're going to inhale through to our plank, dropping down for our chaturanga, lowering all the way to the mat. Inhaling, baby cobra. Exhaling back down, tucking the toes, and finding our way back up in our downward facing dog. Stepping to the front of the mat, however you like. So maybe placing a bend in those knees and exhaling through to the front. Inhaling, halfway lift here. And exhaling, folding forward. This time straightening the backs of the legs a little bit more. And gently rolling up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Shoulders up, back and down. We inhale back into our chair. Slight tuck of that tailbone under. We can see our toes. Sinking down a little bit more. Holding the breath in here. And exhaling gently out the mouth. One more inhale here. And exhale, sending the legs, the hands down to meet the legs for our forward fold. This time we step the left foot back, finding our runner's lunge. Either dropping the knee or keeping it floated. We inhale up for our crescent. Deep breaths into the belly, opening up that hip flexor. Exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. Inhale, nice and tall here. And exhale, turn to twist. Left elbow finds the right knee. Pushing into those hands, twisting the chest even more. Maybe putting the weight into that front leg a little bit more, really bending into that knee. See if you can turn to twist one more time. Looking up to the sky. And exhaling the hands down. Stepping that right foot back to meet the left. Allowing the whole back of the body to open up. We inhale, float through. Exhale to our chaturanga. But this time, holding the chaturanga halfway down. We inhale, push into those hands again, coming back up for our push-up. One more time, sending it down halfway. And pushing back up. Exhaling back to our downward facing dog. Stepping up to meet our hands wherever you like. And finding our forward fold. This time we are going to bend our left leg. Left hand stays planted on the mat. We inhale that right hand all the way up to the sky. Really feeling that stretch outside the right hip. The hand can stay up in the sky, or you can twist it, opening up that shoulder a little bit more, bringing the back of the right hand to the back of the lower back. Inhaling up, and exhale, finding our forward fold. Heel toeing the feet out wide, and dropping the hips down for our malasana. Deep breaths in here, pressing elbows into knees, knees into elbows. Trying to sink back a little bit more. You're going to exhale, send that left hand down to the mat, and inhale that right hand up to the sky. Breathing here, pushing that left elbow into the left knee and vice versa. Taking that right arm out a little bit more. And exhaling back down to prayer. Inhaling here, exhaling the right hand down, and inhaling that left hand up, turning to twist. This time our right elbow pushes into our right knee, and right knee into elbow. That left arm opens up a little bit more, looking to the sky. And exhaling back down. Inhaling those hips all the way up to the sky, finding our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale down to the mat. Our right hand plants on the mat by our right foot. And we inhale, opening up that left arm again. Bending that right knee deeply. Breathing into the lower back, into the twists. Feeling that stretch all the way down the left side body. Maybe inhaling, taking that arm back a little bit to meet your lower back. Twisting a little bit more. Inhaling up and exhaling back down. This time, taking a step or a hop back into your plank. Exhaling down for our chaturanga. Unflipping the feet, sending ourselves up, upward facing dog. And exhaling back for our down dog. Looking between the hands and stepping or hopping to the top of the mat. Finding your forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. And exhale to release. Inhale, circle sweep the hands all the way up. And exhale down through the center. We're going to move into our balance poses again. So moving into our tree, setting up our left foot, grounding it down into the mat. We inhale that right knee up. Finding our tree wherever you are today. So maybe just bringing that foot to ankle, foot to calf, or foot to the inside thigh. Really connecting that foot with the inside thigh, drawing everything into the midline, opening up the chest, standing nice and tall. Maybe finding your Jnana Mudra, circulating the energy into your palms with your pointer and thumb. Maybe playing with your branches, learning to sway and balance here, and seeing where you're at. Then coming to stillness, standing nice and tall. Exhaling that foot slowly down to the mat. Shaking out that standing leg. And finding tree on the other side. So really grounding down those toes into the mat. Inhaling to stand nice and tall. Bringing that left knee up to the chest. And then finding your tree on the other side. Apparently the flies start to come out at this time, so Really sort out your practice with your trees. Finding stillness in your Jnana Mudra, or just bringing your hands to heart center. Nice deep breath in, knowing that if you lose balance, that's totally fine. Come back into the pose when you're ready. One more deep breath in here. Inhale, that foot comes to the front, and then exhaling it back down. Shaking out the legs. Now this time we're going to move in our dancer's pose. So we've not done our dances before. Again, it's a balancing posture. So really planting that left foot down into the mat, visualizing those roots coming out of the soles of your feet. And just finding your balance on that left foot first. So maybe just rising that knee up and down. Then when you're ready, you're going to capture that right ankle with the right hand behind you. So bending that right knee, finding your foot, bringing the knees back in together. Inhaling that left hand up nice and tall. Then you're going to exhale, slowly hinge forward at the hips. All the while kicking that back foot into that right hand. Finding your drishti or your point of focus. You've got a slight bend between behind the heart space, your shoulder blades. Kicking that leg. Tipping a little bit more forward if you can. If tipping is too much for you today, just practice staying in this balance until you're ready to expand. Really trying to kick that foot above your head, opening up that chest. And then exhaling back down. Shaking out the standing legs, feeling the muscles in the glutes turn on. And moving to our other side. So grounding down through that right foot. Imagining those roots coming out of the sole of the foot. And playing with that balance. Inhaling that left knee up and down until you feel nice and steady. When you're ready, capturing that left foot with your left hand and bringing the knees back together. Inhaling that right arm all the way up and exhaling, folding forward. Noticing if maybe you can balance on one side better than the other. Remembering this is a practice. So if you don't get it straight away, that is totally fine. As long as you keep getting back up and trying. Maybe tipping forward a little bit more. Opening up that heart space. Inhaling back up. And exhaling to stand. This time, we're going to send our right foot back, spinning to face the front, or depending on what part of the mat you're standing on, it could be your left. Just coming into our wide-legged variation. Toes pointing completely forward, knife edge of the feet down on the mat. Inhaling here. Exhale, folding over. Inhaling, halfway lift. And exhale, releasing everything. Maybe playing with your balance, coming a little bit more onto your tiptoes. Maybe lifting the heels, lifting the toes, or just finding your stillness here. You're going to gently walk over to your left foot, spinning the toes so they're both facing forward, bringing that back foot up a little bit more so you're about 3 to 4 feet apart. Inhaling, halfway lift. Then exhale, folding over that left leg for our pyramid pose. Really opening up the hamstring. Exhaling to release a little bit deeper. Maybe drawing that left hip back in line with the right. And exhaling to release. One more here. Now bending into your left leg, you're going to inhale, gently sending that right leg up to the sky, and then turning to open the hips, stacking them one on top of the other, planting the left hand down by the left foot. You're going to inhale that right hand up to the sky, finding a balance in half moon, opening up the chest, opening all the way up to the side, slight bend in that standing leg, finding a balance to feel expansive here in all directions. Taking a deep breath in, then exhaling slowly with control, stepping that right foot back and coming into your runner's lunge. From here, we're going to find our Skandasana. So inhale, pointing those toes out to the top of the mat, sending the toes of the right foot up to the sky, and inhaling that right hand open, planting the left hand down on the mat, opening up that inner thigh, pushing left elbow into knee, knee into elbow, really opening up that chest, looking beyond the right hand, and exhaling, bringing it back down to the mat. We're going to walk ourselves back through the center and finding our forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, and then exhaling, melting over those legs. Maybe seeing if you can fold a little bit deeper than before. Maybe bring the top of your head to the mat. Just finding our balance here. Allowing everything to release from the back body, the back of the legs, as we recover in this position. Taking deep breaths all the way in, and then finding our way over to the other side, framing the right foot, stepping the left foot back up, and finding our pyramid pose. Inhaling, halfway lift, then exhaling, melting over that right leg. That left leg is about 3 to 4 feet apart behind you. Lengthening that front leg and allowing everything to release from the hamstring, the calf. Maybe pulling those hips back in line with each other. Pulling the right hip back in line with the left. Each inhale lengthening that spine, and each exhale releasing over that leg a little bit more, allowing gravity to do the work. Your next inhale, you're going to bend into that right knee, grounding down that right hand into the mat by your foot, and sending that left leg up to the sky and opening up to our half moon, allowing everything to be expansive, finding our balance, hips stacked on top of each other. Maybe a slight bend in that standing knee, but really feeling the energy coming out of the foot, out of the fingertips, opening up to the side, finding the balance and the strength in this half moon position. You're going to exhale that hand and the foot down, nice and controlled, finding our runner's lunge again. And then moving into our Skandasana. So sending the left toes up to the sky, bending into that right knee, toes pointing out to the top of the right mat on a diagonal. Inhaling that left hand all the way up to the sky, finding a twist. Allowing the hips and the groin to open up, the chest to open up, really pushing the elbow into knee and the knee into elbow. And if you like, you can even place a block or a rolled up towel or something under that ankle to give you a little bit more height, making this Skandasana a little bit easier. Breathing here into the twist, then exhaling that hand finds the mat and walking your way back into one more final forward fold. Inhaling halfway lift and exhaling, pulling that chest forward, releasing the head to the mat. Maybe your peace fingers find your big toes. Inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale, folding forward even more. Each inhale, lengthening the spine. With each exhale, pulling yourself even closer towards your legs. Then bringing your hands to the mat. We'll make our way down into our tabletop position, taking it nice and slow, taking the knees nice and wide and exhaling back for our child's pose. Heart melting to the mat, releasing the hips and the lower back, allowing the shoulders to fall away from the ears, and everything to just sink down. Deep breaths into the belly, and exhale gently out. Your next inhale, come back up into your tabletop. And then you're going to take that right hand all the way to the sky and exhale, thread the needle, finding your right cheek on the mat, pressing into that left arm, maybe to twist a little bit more. Playing with your hand if you want it in front, back, side, where it's comfortable for you. But finding that beautiful shoulder stretch in this thread the needle. Finding stillness here. Maybe pushing into that hand a little bit more, twisting it out a bit more. Deep breaths all the way into the belly. And exhaling out. You want it to be a bit deeper. Sending that left hand up to the sky and finding a bind. Maybe the back of the hand finds the back of the spine, or the thigh crease, or the hip crease. Just opening up that chest a little bit more. breathing into this gentle spinal rotation. Allowing everything to melt here. When you're ready, unwinding from the bind, exhaling that left hand back onto the mat, pressing into the palm and inhaling that right hand all the way back up, opening the chest and exhaling down to tabletop. Setting ourselves up for thread the needle on the other side, we inhale that left hand up and exhale, thread it through. Left cheek finds the mat, right hand pushes into the mat. And exhale and release into the twist. Maybe readjusting your hips, your hands, finding where it's comfortable for you. Maybe finding that bind with the hand on the other side. Inhaling up. Then back of the hand finds the back or the hip crease. Wherever's comfortable for you to open up that chest just a little bit more. Deep breaths all the way in. And exhaling out. Melting into this pose. Opening up that chest. Then unwinding from the bind, sending that hand up to the sky, placing it back by your head. And inhaling up. And then exhaling back down into our tabletop. And crawling the hands forward, exhaling the knees out, and sending the hips back for our child's pose. Nice recovery position here. And inhaling forward and gently rolling all the way onto the tummy, allowing everything to just relax. Hands down, cheek to the mat. Just allowing a moment of surrender. Deep breath in and exhale. And when you're ready, rolling onto your back. Finding a comfortable position in this supine. Bring the knees to the chest, hugging them in, maybe massaging the lower back by rolling side to side. One last final bit of love here. As you inhale, exhale out to your Savasana, taking up as much space as possible. Feeling the connection of the back on the mat. Allowing everything to release. Taking deep breaths all the way into the belly. And gently exhaling out. Feeling connected to the earth. Feeling nice and grounded. Allowing one last moment of stillness, surrender, before going about our day. When you're ready, bringing some slight movement to your fingers and toes, bringing your attention back to the body on the mat. One final big breath in here. And exhale it all out. Gently rolling onto your side, hugging yourself in the fetal position, giving yourself a nice big squeeze here. Then gently pushing into your palms and bringing yourself up to a seated position. Eyes closed, staying in the practice. Take one final deep breath here. And we'll close with Om and Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring the hands to heart center. Take a deep inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your hands up to your third eye. May you think kind thoughts. Down to your mouth. May you speak kind words. And down to your heart. May you live with kind intentions. Hope you go forward and feel peaceful throughout the rest of your day. Namaste.